Imagine you saved for years and finally bought your dream homestead in the country. Surrounded by peaceful forest with a river and streams nearby, you're happily living on your 40 acres north of Grand Forks, British Columbia, when the government comes along and tells you they're going to sell 127 hectares of trees surrounding your land to the highest bidder. And there's nothing you can do about it because that is the way it is legislated in BC. The trees have to come down. Some of the folks from a new nonprofit group called Boundary Forest Watershed Stewardship Society visited one of the cut blocks in May 2019, prior to it being auctioned off to logging companies. We'll be filming before, during, and after the logging activities at Hornet Creek and sharing what's happening publicly so that people can get an understanding of what's happening in BC forests.
This is going to be the first block. And under the first block, okay, this is all the cutting specs and whatnot that they're going to do. And there is a timing on when they are allowed to come in here because of the bats.
Okay.
I think as of timing restriction, March 15th to September 30th. No harvesting within that time period. No road construction, harvesting, hauling, or other heavy machinery within 100 meters of the bat house. This is what they're going to reserve here. Treatment or standard unit 1, they're going to retain 20 stems per hectare of all conifers greater than 35.5 centimeters at DBH at this height. Oops, sorry. Okay. Remove all blowdown and damaged trees. Retain all healthy standing trees. Okay, this is the Granby River Riparian Management Zone. Retain all non-merch stems where there is no conflict with harvesting activities. Avoid random skidding and establish designated perpendicular skid trails inside of the riparian management zone to retain more non-merch understory, which I gather they're going to be cutting the tree and bring them out and laying them on the skid trail so nobody else is going in amongst the trees rather than the feller buncher. So anything like that will probably be cut down because it's too close to the road for a safety feature. So it's kind of left up to the operator to do his best to retain all the understory.
So years ago, I applied for a junction permit here with the Department of Highways, and they refused it because of the site visibility. At 80 clicks, if you come around that corner at 80 clicks, and there's a logging truck crossways on this road blocking both lanes, they wouldn't allow this to have a junction with the highway here with the. So the question is, do they have a junction permit with the highways, or have they just assumed that it, because it's an old Forest Service road, that there is a junction permit? And if it doesn't have a junction permit, what kind of safety precautions do they have in mind here? Because somebody coming around there, you know, at a good clip, especially if they're logging in the winter, you know,
Which they will.
the stopping conditions wouldn't be very good.
Well, that should have been down before the kids were running up and down here to lay out the blocks.
Well, wait till drive up.
I think that
Boy,
happened
get excited.
from the blowdown.
You take a look at this. They're going to grab that stump or that chunk there, and as soon as they grab it, you can see that all the shit and the gravel is going to wind up in the creek. Never mind what's going to wind up there, and then fresh it's all going to come down here, and next thing you know, this culvert is plugged, and the road washes out.
I don't know, I might be out of touch here, but my question is, why isn't there a 5-meter buffer on both sides of this creek here. Like 3 to 5 meters on this side, 3 to 5 meters on that side. People work in the middle of the night. We're down there, right there.
Okay.
So it's about 1 kilometer from here up to the bat house.
So are we going up this road?
Yeah, that's right. And then we'll end up in the bat house.
Okay. Okay.
You see all that? This understory here. That's what they got to leave behind. This stuff has got to be left behind if the landing doesn't get over in that far. All this understory that does not make a log, they've got to reserve that. They've just got to reserve it. And these big old trees, I think they're leaving 20 stems per hectare here over 35 centimeters at DBH. So anything over 12 inches. And when we were harvesting too, we always left the yellow pine, that species right there. Always left. It was 100% reserve. Didn't matter which block. And the deciduous too, like the cottonwood, poplar, all of that. Mm-hmm. Left them behind. You didn't have to take those. But I see in these blocks here, I see everyone's going to be cut down because they all make a log. So, and another thing too, the people that live across the road, okay, now you can't see their property from here, but when you open this up, my friend Pat there, he's going to look at a clear cut.
Right, Bald Mountain.
Something close to a clear cut.
Disgusting.
What do the blue flags represent?
You know, that might be a cruise line. Should have some ribbons on there. No, they've got the right-of-way boundary for that road. Okay. This is the outside boundary for that road that you're standing on.
So here's
and there
the
should
other
be
side.
another set of ribbons on the other side there.
So here's the other side.
Is that blue?
Yeah.
We're coming up to a little patch of immature here, but it's right in the middle of the road. So all of this stuff, you got cedar growing here, you got all that, that's going to be gone because of the road system is going to take that up. Yeah. You know, my question to you, how many stems here do you see that's not merchantable timber?
Anything that's straight is merchantable, isn't it?
Anything, say at 7 or 20 centimeters.
That big.
That big. Okay, so you look through there.
That's all merchantable.
So it's all merchantable.
Yeah,
so
even that little skinny one there.
that'll be, it's a clear cut.
Yeah.
You know, something like this is going to be in the slash pile.
Yeah.
Where that's prime logs. Prime log, why didn't they cut it way back there?
Uh-huh.
It's because they, I don't know, like all of this stuff is, you know, they could have cut it in 12-foot lengths or some damn thing, so they could utilize it. 33,304 cubic meters. And they're going to harvest here 127.9 hectares. Yeah. This is in the district for BCTS, timber sales. Yeah. And there's big volumes here, big volumes. Like there's 33,000 cubic meters to come out of here. That's 45 meters per truckload, so how many is that? 45 into 33,000 is quite a few. The trees that they're going to leave, are they going to be good, healthy trees? You know, that's what my concern is anyway. And where did they get this number 12, 20? you know, 20 stems per hectare. That's just a name or a number. Where did they get that from? Why didn't they leave 40? Or, you know where I'm going? Or why couldn't they just target the blowdown here in a patch cut, like 1 hectare or 2 hectares in size, and then move on? Concentrate on harvesting just the blowdown in this area, and give them a little extra room to maneuver. But like, why would they want to go in there? Nothing wrong with that. That's all because it's part of the block. They got to log it. They should be putting their logging blocks around what happened here, like an area here. Okay, go up to there. See where that large tree is there? Go up there. Harvest 1 hectare in here. So all of this blowdown is gone. Where there's no blowdown, leave it alone. Leave it alone. And like we used to lay out patch cuts in the Christina Lake watershed up there. And all we were allowed, we were told to target the prime timber, go around number 1. So that's what we did. But 1 hectare in size, accessed by skid trail or a main road system. And they've got away from that. Now there's, you know, that 1 hectare in size is now 40 hectares in size. The upset stumpage price, you know, I'm kind of interested in what this really goes for. It starts at $33.19 a cubic meter. And I think they're going to bid a little bit higher than that. The sawmill or whoever gets this. That's on June 5th. So that should be at 11 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you know, you got to reseed this too. Hopefully in the same species. You know, what do you see? I see 90% fir here. The odd yellow pine and 1 or 2 larch. That's about it. So this is a first stand. Yeah. So I hope they don't reseed it with pine.
They had a video like this from the young people.
There's so much blow down here, it looks like it's decked already. Up there.
Grizz!
Grizz, come here.
Grizz!
Oh, there's no question in my mind. They got to do something with that blowdown.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if you don't, that's going to add to your fir bark beetle problem
Oh yeah.
significantly. Then all your other fir trees are at risk too, eh?
You see them numbers on the trees there?
Yeah.
They must have done there's a plot there, a cruise plot. That's where they get the volumes from. Okay, they'll sit here with a prism and they'll look around and see how many trees are in their glass. And they look around like that and they'll document that. Then they'll know how high the tree is, what species it is, how old it is, and all that stuff. Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, I can believe it. That's what you call a wildlife tree?
Which one?
This is a wildlife tree
Yeah,
and
'cause
the
there's-
one in behind.
I see it because of the, what do you call them?
There's
Woodpeckers.
peppers in there, but I'll bet you there's squirrels in there.
Yeah.
That's a wildlife tree.
So people just told them about this lately about the bat. They didn't know nothing. I know they were knocked the damn thing down. They haven't got a clue. But they were forced into that. Not because the logging companies were concerned. They would have knocked the whole cabin down. I mean, look at the history of the cabin. There's lots of mines up here.
Haven't seen
Yeah,
one like
everyone
that
up this
in a
valley just
long
recently
time,
got a letter
actually,
Yeah.
saying that they want to come
without many,
and check their properties.
Well, same with volcanic, same thing, beautiful.
Big work
That's
for
where I
a
was
while.
telling people there's a beautiful marijuana grow up there a couple of years ago, and these people are really, really neat. They had their own solar systems, and you know, they pumped it out of the mine, all the water, good clean water, into their onto their fields. I wrote a note said these look pretty darn good, and I would not tell anybody where it was because I knew some people would steal it, and that's not fair. Yeah.
Look at that, there's the mine. Wow.
Yeah.
Look at this.
But I don't see any ribbons here. I think we're in a reserve here. And you know, I think this is where the abats originated from. But you know, don't quote me on that. You know, I walked in here at least 10 years ago.
And I got pictures of the kids never seen them used to do. I was up in the middle of the fall.
Pretty down here, huh?
Nice for a picnic spot.
Especially on a hot July day. Look at the size of this little tree. You see there was something scraped in here, eh?
Oh yeah.
But look at the size of this little tree. But look at the height of it.
Yeah.
So when they're in the draw, you know, the girls, when it's in the draw like that, it's reaching for the sun.
Yeah.
Reaching for the sun is what it's doing. And these trees are awesome trees. Eh? Cedar trees they're the ones that if you're lost in the forest, you start cutting limbs off the cedar because they'll repel water. If you look at them, they're so smooth on top. Just pile them up, and it'll be like there's no water coming in at all. They're amazing things.
You know, they're not too far. They're right underneath the bark in the cambium area there. Oops. Here. You got a knife? Oh, yeah. There's a track there.
But they're not mountain pine beetle. I looked at some of them. They're not mountain pine.
They're not the mountain pine.
No, but they're about the same size. But the mountain pine beetle have a little dent in the hind end, like somebody give them a kick in the butt, eh? But the,
Mountain pine were bigger,
well, they might be a little bit bigger than those.
but I think I had a vision of them big
Oh
like
no,
that eating through our
they're very
forest.
small. Oh no, very small.
Right to the coast. I do it way more here than I ever did.
Because there's parking.
And there's it's parking, and it's the local people that I know that are in them, and it's fun. You know?
Yeah, you go to a play in Vancouver and you don't know anybody.
Well, after seeing the bear and the rabbit and hearing all the birds, you know, I just wish we could have selective logging so that we could keep some of it and not make it this disastrous wasteland.
That's right.
You know, that's going to become, it's hard to imagine that this is going to be a wasteland in a few weeks. Yeah. It makes me sad.
Yeah. I can't imagine what it's going to, like the devastation up here, especially once we got right down to Hornet Creek. It's just like a little piece of magic down there. It really is. It's like a little cathedral. And to think that that's just going to be a wasteland, it's really horrifying.
That's a new culvert, isn't it? Looks like a new culvert. Yeah, this bank is old. I'm not going to tell you to drop it there. Look at this. Look. Huh?
Yeah, that's his favorite thing. He likes to put his belly in the stream.
And getting in when he sits in the vehicle, it's nice and wet.
Yeah.
What is that?
That's his water source right there.
Say that again? What?
That's water source, that pipe right there, that black pipe. That leads to his orchard and to the house.
No, he has a well to his house, sorry. This leads to his, he has water rights to water his orchard. And that's how it comes through a pipe. Because all those are new wells. Dan and Bob talked about how this wasn't good. It was too steep, and that all of that sediment is going to, during the freshet, is going to run into this creek here.
Why the hell allow them to come in here? It hasn't even been awarded yet.
They're really anxious to get into here, aren't they?
And then it's a straight wash
Right down
there.
into the river.
Yeah.
And then we said, gee, why is Grand Fork flooded?
Yeah.
Wow. You know, I don't think it takes much of that.
It's already sloughing off here, just from the amount of rain we had.
That's the same road as where our pickup.
And in the culvert there, did you notice there where the intake, there was rocks around the intake, so it's not flowing 100%, 85%, because of the rocks are holding some of the water back.
But I guess there's no leaving it. This is going to be a clear-cut show.
Probably will. You know, the following winter with the snow press, hopefully you don't get that much snow, but all these little saplings here,
Yeah.
they call them poles, they'll be gone.
Yeah.